What is up, Star Wars fans? This is Darth Watson. In this video, we're going to be talking about Kathleen Kennedy in this video. So there is a big rumor going around about Kathleen Kennedy stepping down at Lucasfilm, and this is coming from Bespin Bulletin, and Bespin Bulletin has been pretty reliable. So, but even they get stuff wrong, and it's not like people have been saying that Kathleen Kennedy is going to get fired forever and nothing ever happened. People were predicting Kathleen Kennedy would get fired all the way back when The Last Jedi came out, calling Kathleen Kennedy a terrible lead at Lucasfilm. Although Kathleen Kennedy was put in place by George Lucas when George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney. And not only that, but Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, believe it or not, took up the most inspiration from George Lucas's sequel trilogy outlines. And if the truth were if the truth were told, I mean, the truth is that even if George Lucas made Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9, there would still be a lot of fans complaining about it. Let me remind you is that Star Wars fans weren't too kind to George Lucas when he made the prequel trilogy. I mean, the prequel trilogy got a lot of backlash back then too. People thought Star Wars was dead when the prequel trilogy came out. Back when Episode 1 came out and people hated Jar Jar Binks. So it's not like the same amount of people are complaining about the sequel trilogy. It's pretty much no different. It's pretty much no different than the people that were complaining about the prequel trilogy when the prequel trilogy came out. I mean, the prequel trilogy got a lot of backlash too. So even if George Lucas were to make Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9, there would still be a lot of hate on George Lucas's sequel trilogy. It wouldn't be much better. It would have been just as bad or even worse. It would probably cause more of a division in the Star Wars fandom. But Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, believe it or not, did take up the most inspiration from George Lucas's sequel trilogy outlines, what George Lucas wanted to do with his treatment. But anyways, people have been predicting that Kathleen Kennedy was going to get fired for a while. It never happened. So I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to go into 2025 with any expectations. I'm not going to get my hopes up for Kathleen Kennedy getting fired. I mean, if she gets fired, she gets fired. Or if her contract doesn't get renewed, her contract doesn't get renewed. But I'm not, unless it's coming from Lucasfilm or StarWars.com that Kathleen Kennedy is no longer the president of Lucasfilm, unless it's coming from those credible sources like StarWars.com, Lucasfilm itself confirming that that Lucasfilm has a new leader, that Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down. Unless they say it, I'm not buying it. So for now, I'm not going to keep my hopes up for Kathleen Kennedy getting fired because people have been saying that forever and it never happened. So I'm not going to get my hopes up for Kathleen Kennedy getting fired. Now, I know a lot of people are having a field day with it, especially the Fandom Menace YouTubers who go on complaining about Kathleen Kennedy, and all they do is complain. They're a very negative group of the Star Wars fandom, and they're even causing even more division in the Star Wars fandom, doing all that bitching and complaining. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. Do make sure to smash a like, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you all later in another video.